chat. I've put the chat up on the stream so everyone can see your lovely comments. White is thinking on this move. Probably thinking whether or not it's safe to to push forward with the knight. Perhaps white is afraid of something like c5, but there's really nothing to be afraid of. We just go back and life continues. And although this is a little cramped, it's perfectly playable. Now, I'm not too... Comments take a while to load. Yeah, no, that'll happen. There's a delay, I believe. But that's okay. It's okay. Okay, we have a move here. So instead of knight to d4 or to e5, we actually have a knight up to g5. Now I think this is a mistake because I think the knight is going a little too far from home. We never really want to stray from the home base unless we got a real good reason. This knight's alone. We actually see black capture the knight, giving away the bishop. D captures, opening up defense of the knight. Now all of a sudden, everything's kind of okay, but what we see is black gets this beautiful pawn center. Now how on earth did that happen? That doesn't usually happen. Well, I'm not really up on my bishop's opening theory, but apparently this is the Philidor counterattack. So you learn something new every day. Oh, let's see here. Skadoop-a-doop-a-doop. Okay. All right, so he doesn't take the full center. That's fine. Instead, kicks the knight. Where will he go? I mean, it's got to be h3, right? There's really no other option. We could see some fireworks here. For instance, if knight takes and king takes, we have this discovered check, which is just chef's kiss. Delightful. The king has to go somewhere. Definitely not g6. Probably one of these squares. Excuse me, one of these squares. This would not be the best, you know, giving up the queen and all. Never really the best option. So one of these squares. Let's see what he chooses. White is down significantly on time already in the opening here. Really interested to see if Andrew is going to go for this knight takes line here. King takes is sort of forced, so, you know, we'll see what we got. Personally, I love these... oh, the heat just kicked on. Hold on. I love these tactical positions because it leaves open a lot of opportunity for imbalanced positions. And there's nothing nothing more uncomfortable than getting your king, losing your castling rights, going towards the center of the board. West loves checks. Okay. I don't know what that means. Well, all right. Good to know. I'm sure white is calculating the very many options he has here. Safest bet, back to h3. And, well, castles would seem to be a comfortable idea. But after the knight gets back in the game, white is all of a sudden doing pretty well here. He's got his bishops pointed towards the king side. He's going to castle, and life will go on. Life will go on. Perhaps bishop takes h3, though. Not the worst thing on earth either. We can always castle queenside and use this lovely file for attacking. So he takes d5, queen e2, for instance. Oh, let's see. Knight c6 is pretty natural. Bishop e3, blockading, preparing to castle. And if castles, well, I think this is pretty nice. I think it's pretty nice, to be honest. So, we'll see if that happens, but I love my fireworks. I came to see a show. I came to see blood and pie. Oh, what do you know? So we've actually got the more aggressive testing line here. Knight takes f7. Very uncomfortable for black. He has to accept quite a few weaknesses here after the king takes back. If you're in the chat right now, please share with us how you would deal with this. King takes is forced. King takes is forced. But fireworks go boom. Oh, well, maybe it's not forced. Maybe we're just going to lose a queen. Or did he take? I'm behind. What's going on here? I could have sworn I saw that wrong. Oops. Okay. I thought I saw that wrong, folks. I thought I saw king to f8. Maybe the DGT is getting a little wacky. Oh my goodness gracious. King g6. Queen takes. Rook takes. And the very uncomfortable and crushing move, c7. Oh. Oh, buddy. Whew. This game is over. This game is over. The extra time that white has taken has been converted to pure liquid elo. And right now, Andrew is guzzling that liquid elo down just as quick as he can. You see, in these chess games, it's very important to take your time. And if you find your opponent blitzing the moves out, you need to slow down. You need to slow down. You need to slow down. You choose the pace of play, right? Don't let your opponent dictate the pace of play. This is a perfect example. We got to slow, breathe, keep calm, chess on, right? We got to do it, folks. This is exactly why things like this happen. That was fast. I mean, the game is by far imbalanced, but it is not over till it's over. White could always make a series of painful mistakes, but I think the game has swung very far in favor of white. And I would love to be a fly on the wall right now. Would love to be a fly on the wall. In fact, let me ask Jason exactly what is going on in that room. How's the environment in the room, Jason, I say? Tell the people. Goodness me. Goodness me. So, yes, calm keep on chess, as I always say. So what do you do here? What do you do here? You get the rook out of the way. You gotta get the rook out of the way. And after a move like, rook anywhere, black's just down a piece. Well, 2 pawns, right? But this is a significant what am I trying to say? Material imbalance is significant. We got the bishop pair. We got a king in the center here. We got this isolated pawn is going to fall. This is much better. The 3 and 3 with the double pawns even. It's going to be very difficult. I'll put it that way. And the live board has updated. Let's see. Okay. I don't have my usual sidekick here, unfortunately, to help me out. What a heartbreak. But that's okay. That's okay. White castles. He's going to get his rook to the center. These bishops are going to be active. We can blockade that that pawn, eventually win the pawn. Man, rough time. Very rough indeed. Okay, bishop g4. Very active move. Got to get our well, get our remaining pieces active. It's got to happen, right? Bishop well placed on e3, blockading this pawn. These bishops going to the endgame are going to control a tremendous amount of space. As much as black would like to trade off the bishop pair, probably shouldn't be making much trades, my friends. Hikaru Speedrun Account Chess. Hello, Hikaru. How are you? Good to see you. Good to see you. Goodness me, this board's not updating. There we go. Someone who speaks the language of... Very good. Very good. Okay. We have our bishop moving to the center of the board here. Perhaps attacking that knight. We shall see. Nothing from Jason. Rude. Okay. So what do you do here as black? I mean, there aren't very many options. There are not very many options. You could push your pawns. You could play b5. But very, very uncomfortable position. Almost resignable, but do not resign. Keep fighting. Continue fighting. I was looking up these two players' USCF ratings earlier. USCF records, rather. Oh, let's see. Oh, you're going to have to deal with the heart there. Sorry. Okay. Looking up their records. Mr. George Ramirez here. 40% win rate the last year. Fairly respectable. But Andrew Henson here. Let's see. 50%, 51%. Pretty good. Looks like these two players have met before. They played 2 games. There was a draw and a win by Mr. Ramirez. Looks like the tides are turning, though. Let's check out the ratings. Mr. Henson, currently rated 1422. Mr. Ramirez, 1474, so fairly close in rating. Not a significant difference to make any big predictions here. Okay, the knight's attacked, and it moves to the edge of the board. Makes sense to me. I don't really know where that knight's future belongs. It's going to be hard to get it anywhere useful, in my most humble of opinions. Perhaps just giving it up, honestly, was the way to go. But either way, you know, maybe towards the center is a little more active. It's tough because these bishops control so much space. So how do you move? I mean, how do you move? It's very difficult when your opponent limits all your counterplay. We have f3. E takes is the only reasonable option. Black doesn't want to be down even more. Perhaps he's thinking about pushing, but I guarantee you it's not a good idea, because we have this takes, and even if we see another push, we have takes with check, then we can block. Lights out. All the material gone. Okay, we have takes and takes. Good. We can't allow anything, any funny business to delete more material off the board. That would be a tragedy. That would be a tragedy. All right. Attempting to be active with his pieces, but my goodness, what can you do? You attack the rook, and the rook moves to an open file. Now white will gain control of the file. Very tough, double-edged. In a position like this, everything you do seems to be double-edged. Knight back in the game. Very good. Move like king f2. A very good decision here. Getting the king off the back rank, opening up the g file. Defending the pawn, just sort of shoring up the position. That would be a very good idea for white here. The bishops are cutting beautifully into the king side, and there's so many ideas for mating nets here. Bishop e5, attacking the knight. Knight's got to move or be defended, but let's be honest, I think you got to move it. What's a good option here? What can you do? I mean, this is tough. The computer even likes taking, which is fascinating. I don't know about that. I guess the bishop's just too powerful. You know it's bad when giving up more material is the best move, you know? Very tough. All right, let's see if Jason has responded here. Knight g2, saving the knight. These guys know each other very well. They're having fun. Andrew always plays risky gambit stuff. Well, I'm glad they're having fun, but there will be a pie to the face very shortly, given play like this. I really want to know if there was any, if this was part of the prep. I really want to know if this was part of prep. It'd be great to get an interview. That's our next step. Our next step in the show, if you will. Sorry, that was probably loud. Rook e2. Okay. Yeah, that'd be fine. Why does the board look like a nuclear wasteland? What? I'm confused. What on earth? I don't think I understand that. Ouch. All right. Rooks are trading, and all of a sudden, that's a little more even than it should be, in my humblest of opinions. I wasn't expecting that. I wasn't expecting that at all. Because all of a sudden, yeah, this can't be taken. So after King F2, by the way, that's why King F2 was a good move. Now it's remarkably more even than it was. I don't know what to say. With a move like knight takes F3, and for instance, knight takes, king takes, all of a sudden, remarkably even. What happened? I don't know. Rough. Okay. Let's see where we go from here, though. The players are thinking, taking their time. My goodness. Jason's sending me messages here. Oh my goodness! Very surprised by the choice of opening for sure. Yeah. So much more even now. I mean, I can only repeat that because I'm blown away by just how even the game is. Sometimes when you take, this kind of thing happens, you know? So, if rook takes, well, white's back on top, material-wise. So what black has to find is knight takes, and he finds it. Delightful. Delightful. And how will white respond? How will white respond? God knows. Me is eating Chinese. Hey, that's awesome, dude. Okay. You'll forgive my stuttering and stammering. It's been a long day. And I had to set up quite a bit immediately upon arriving at the house. Well, the apartment, rather. Okay, we have knight takes, king takes knight, and rook takes. And now, goodness gracious, more even than it was in the past. So what's the imbalance here? Well, we have 3-on-2 with doubled pawns. We have 2-on-1. We each have our light squared bishops, and we each have a rook. Kings are remarkably active. Rook G1 check. A little too late. We needed King F2 before, but that's okay. See, now these bishops aren't cutting the board up, so king can escape. This is unfortunate, considering the amount of control white had. It's gone. So now we're in an endgame. And white has to figure out what to do. Personally, I would grab one of these files. Probably the D file. Try to infiltrate the position here. But we'll see. Obviously not immediately because of the bishop, but eventually. Both gentlemen, their time ticking away. Okay. Bishop to the center of the board. Very interesting. Moves like King E5 come to mind, putting immediate pressure on white. dictating pace of play here. But we shall see. 33 minutes for black, 29 minutes for white. I wonder if that's going to be even the entire game. What do you think in the chat? I want to hear your predictions. Okay, we have a pawn push. Controlling more space. Logical. Very logical. Getting it on a dark square, removing any liabilities, perhaps, for the future. I want to hear what the chat has to say, though. Who do you think will win? Andrew or George? George. Jorge. George. I don't know the man. I'm going to go ahead with George because I have a student in class who told me it was George. That's it. I suppose it could be both. If I knew him better, perhaps I would know the right answer by reading his mind. Jason says both these players have a hard time playing slowly. Okay, fair enough. Can't argue with that. We have the bishop on a more active square here in the center. Cutting this board rather nicely. Controlling a whole bunch of space. This bishop, not very active. Let's see if black will activate the bishop. Or perhaps black's thinking he wants to trade the bishops off and go for this majority. We may have a very interesting lopsided endgame here. Pardon me while I grab a drink. A better drink than this that's not all watered down. Be right back. All right. I am back. What has happened? What have I missed? What have I missed? G5. Taking more space, advancing those pawns. By the way, I have M&Ms. Left over from Halloween. I don't know why I'm talking with my hands, but I am. Do 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 do. Very interesting. Okay. The king is moseying on over, away from the center, for some reason, to attack the bishop. Very well. Perhaps the king will be useful in the wars to come. The war to which I'm referring, of course, the battle for the passed pawn. Yeah? King activity, very important. Usually you centralize your king, but I understand in this instance why. King's on G3. Not going to argue. Good decision. Very good. Wondering where the rest of Waco is, because there's 3 viewers. See if I can change that. Hold on. Oh, okay. By the way, if you're watching, go ahead and join my chess.com group. Playing tournaments every Tuesday. Absolutely free. No obligation, but you know what? You might have a good time. All right, we have a move. Very interesting. Wow. So, I've seen a move like this before, and I get it. But what it's done is taken this out of the game, and I understand the reasoning, but we've just deactivated our bishop. We've put it on convalescent leave here, and it's just kind of a pawn now. Now I understand defending the bishop, it makes sense, but the difficult thing to realize is not really a bishop anymore. So we're defending it. If this were part of like a mating net, I get it. But that bishop really has to be active. We got to get that out of here in the game, right? It's not doing anything over there. It's not doing anything. Rook e1. White is saying, okay. Now, what White really doesn't want to do is trade this off. You never want to trade your useful pieces for your opponent's your active pieces for your opponent's inactive pieces. You never want to do that. So, I mean, where do you go from here? I can only imagine Black wants to do something like this and like this, hoping for something, but unfortunately, you know, that would be tragic. So what is there to do? What is there? Okay, let's do this. Boom. It's okay, I make them all the time as well. In fact, let's annotate the rest of the game here. Yeah, this needs some annotations here. Only move. And boom. Okay, but where does the needle drop here? It's coming here. Where is it? Okay. Yeah, that's the one. All right. That's a good move too. All right, let's get back to reality here. Annotations are fun. We have 27 minutes to 26 minutes. Pretty good. Pretty good on the time management side. You simply must take your time. Your brother can't take a joke. Okay, what? What does that have to do with anything? I don't understand. I guess the real question here is, what on earth is Black supposed to do? This idea might look good on paper, but you have to remember your bishop's active. This rook can come in. It's hard to see. He's coming up with a plan right now. I mean, what would I do here? I don't rightly know. I just don't know. Rook here, rook c8, making sure what? I don't know. I mean, b3 wouldn't be possible, but we're just sort of meandering, shuffling. I'm thinking this is what he has on his mind, and he's trying to calculate. But after this, that just kills the idea completely. It's very tough. Okay, he goes with my move. Good man. Placing pressure on the c-file. God forbid, if he closes his eyes and plays b3, I'm going to take that pawn. I'll do it. Don't have to tell me twice. Take what you can. Take what you can get, man. I mean, yeah. Even the playing field. Sweep the leg. Sweep the leg. Who do we have with us? We have a couple more viewers. Oh, never mind. They just left. Goodbye. Sweet. Awesome. Nice. Yeah, you love to see it. 5 viewers. Wow. Look at that. Truly. Oops. Incredible. There we go. We just started a daily tournament in my Concho Chess Academy group on chess.com. The winner gets a 1-month diamond membership. 28 players. We'll see how that goes. A lot of good players in there. It's under 1,800. Woodwork King. Excellent. Very good. Do you make chessboards? I don't know about that. After takes, this is even. I don't know. I don't know about that. I don't know. I gotta give a WTF question mark there. Well, what else could you have done here? Centralize the rook. A3. I don't know. It's tough. Rook E3, rook E4. Well, these are off limits, so it's fairly logical. But I don't think this is going to end up being good for white, unfortunately. And we see takes. Rook takes. Good. Pawn takes. I mean, it's got to be pawn takes. It has to be. There's no other option. Why think longer than you have to? Unless there's something I'm just not seeing. I mean, you got to take that pawn. Otherwise, you're going to have tons of trouble. This is defended by the light squared bishop. Take that pawn, man. Very good. I was getting worried. I think we may be headed towards a draw, folks. And that's a tragedy. Boards and boxes, my God. I'll pay top dollar. You name your price. I have a tournament coming up on December 9th for my middle school kids. I would love to give one out as a prize. You just name your price. I'll gladly pay it. They don't usually get unique things like that. I think I've seen some of the pictures on the group Chess Informant. That's awesome. Cutting boards were nice too. Very nice. Okay. We have a pretty good move. Rook e4. I think that would have been better than b4, but it's okay. We're back. The idea being, you know, we're going to grab that pawn and bank on this a2 pawn getting to the end of the board. Thing is, we can defend and attack. Rook a3, for instance. Now what? Honestly, what now? Move like this might be tempting, right? But it's illegal. Nice try. That's the thing about those illegal moves. They're always the ones you want to play. Okay, we don't get rook a3. Instead, we get rook c5, defending the pawn. Logical. We've got ourselves a draw, folks, barring any acts of God or, well, any miscalculations. This looks like a draw, through and through. It's frustrating because essentially black's bishop doesn't exist, but it kind of holds the position together, on the king side at least. Check. Deciding where to go, deciding if g5 is the ticket or not. Or perhaps centralizing with e5. What we know is that's not the answer. That's definitely not the answer. That much we know. It's got to be g5. Fairly active. We can overprotect our pawn. Of course, the rook will get in here, but what's it going to do? Barely any progress to be made. My prediction, king g5. Let's see, can I put any more funny annotations in? Let's see. I guess not. Oh well. I thought you could put like... Oh, here we go. Here we go. Boom! Okay, that's... that's ridiculous. I love it. Both players nearing 20 minutes. Ah... 3 viewers, goodness me. Brutal. Excuse me. Where are my manners? What, no bless you? Okay, here we go. King g5. As previously discussed, that rook can go up to f7, to f8. It can get into the position. Give checks for days, but what's it going to do? What's it going to do? This is a draw. going to talk to Jason here, see what he thinks here. I wish I could explain more to you, but there's just not much left in this position. Nobody can make any progress. In my humble opinion, it's a draw. Andrew just offered a draw, and George declined. That's fascinating. That is fascinating. It's a draw. It's a draw. I don't know what to say. Accept the draw. Okay, C4. He's playing for a win. You know what? I wanted to see blood. I accept. I accept. He's going for it. He's going for it. Respectable. Play for the win. Okay. We see H5. I think this was the idea all along. We just had more things going on that sort of forced other moves at the time, but this was always the idea. And now white really has to be careful here because of H4 check. You can't just make a nothing move here. You can't be deflected from this rook. Can't happen. Good. Getting the rook out of there. This is the way forward. Oh. Let's see. Time keeps on ticking. So let's just play the natural move that everybody wants to see, right? Check. He gave the check. He did it. King F2, forced. Every other move is impossible. This looks intimidating, but we can stop it. We can stop it. What do you do here? I mean, you give a check. That loses. Checks feel very good. Sometimes they lose. Okay. Again, it's been a long day. A4, A3. We're going to gum up the works, yeah? Oh, excuse me. We actually have this on the board. So we have the check. We have King F2. Okay, the king's going up. Up, up, up. Perhaps to try to escort this pawn. Problem is, you shall not pass. Fairly big problem of not being able to access half the board due to the rook. I'm not entirely sure what we're going to do here. Probably wouldn't be the best to check for check's sake. How to make progress, though? I mean, if you could just not move, that would be great, but unfortunately that's not how chess works. Perhaps keeping this line here, would be best. No matter what black does, we just keep this force field. I think that's what we got to do. I think that's the logical way forward. It would be nice to take this, but, you know, we lose a rook. That whole thing. Maybe he's tempted to do this, but I don't think that's wise because of tactics, winning the piece. Very tempting because you might be thinking, all right, I go down, we trade, and then I'm defending and I'm attacking, but tactics are important. Double attack. Rough. King f6, excuse me. Okay. The trade is offered. Wow. Taken. Very quickly taken. Both down to 19 minutes. We're itching ever closer to a draw. Light-colored bishops. Light-squared bishops, rather. Draw. Bishop c4, the only move, defending the pawn. I suppose not the only move, but it's the move I would make. If king d4, well, guess what? Boom. Simple. Remarkably simple. There we go. Bishop c4. I tell my students, tough part about the endgame, fewer moves to consider, but they mean much, much more. More consequential. I hope wherever you are, you're having a peaceful day, and that all your dreams come true, and that you accomplish everything you're trying to accomplish. This, I sincerely hope, happens to you, for you. And may all your chess dreams also come true. Be nice to birds. Eat your vegetables. The forgotten commandments. Be nice to birds. Eat your vegetables. Pet stray cats. These things I impart onto you. 4 viewers. Wow, that's 3 more than I was expecting. Incredible. Truly, truly incredible. By the way, help me monetize my channel. I'm trying to get to 4,000 watch hours. You don't even have to watch the videos. You put them on in the background, you just kick back, do what you want. Hey man, do me a favor. But if you want to watch my videos, you know, there's a whole bunch of videos. Good God, I'm missing things. What happened? Oh no. Oh no, what happened? Uh-oh. Oh no. Oh no. That's not gonna work, man. Oh heavens, no. Oh my goodness. Okay, so that was a mistake. Wow. So here's the thing. If we push the pawn, we just win it with check. Oh, the pain, the misery. Whew. That's brutal. So in light of that continuation, we have king over. But once the king moves, g3. Ooh, buddy. Oh, very accurate play from black. Takes, takes, king over. Whew. Okay, well, this game just took a turn, my friends. Oh, buddy. Yeah. That hurts. That hurts me to see. There's a red carpet. It's a... Oh, buddy. Man, that's brutal. He played for the win. He played for the win. Good on him. Oof. Honestly, Matthew, I've been stuttering and stammering my way through this. I'm tired, but it's good chess, so. Hope you're well. We're all with you. Hearts go out to you. Brutal. This is where you resign. I know I say keep fighting, but this is where you resign because there's nothing to be done here. There's nothing. We're a little far, yeah? Just a little far. Yeah, okay. I believe that's the result. Am I wrong? No, that's the result. We have resignation, and I agree. Very tough. Very tough indeed. Let's see. Let me save that here. Okay, Andrew. Let's see. George. Oh, silly me. Okay, now I take a break. Bathroom break. Unless they start immediately. Okay, I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. So in honor of the pie that's about to give its life soon for, I say for science, for chess, I've got some pumpkin pie. And it's going to be good. Let's make some room here. Very tough. Very tough indeed. Let's take a look at some analysis here. In terms of accuracy, they both played fairly well. Just the real big mistakes were the only ones, unfortunately. Sometimes it happens. Okay. I eagerly await round 2 here. Okay. First of all, just the opening choice alone, I haven't seen much. I haven't seen it much. You know, c3. In this position, I don't see that very often. Today was a first, so we talked about that, knight d4. Giving up the bishop. Well, bishops are a terrible thing to waste. You got to get those center pawns, man. Those beautiful center pawns. And we went for this testing line that, honestly, I'm all for. And this was the key mistake here. See, because when the king goes over, this kind of thing is not possible anymore. But why? Oh, no, it is. Sorry. Now it's not possible. Pardon me. Because you can't take with a rook. That's the point. You can't take with a rook. That's it. Full stop. You got to take with a king. Because of that. But now we're fine. In fact, black is up a pawn. So just to go back, we have to move our king to defend the queen, stopping this idea. However, we get fireworks. Would have been funny if you promoted to a knight. Fairly accurate middle game play by both players until this moment here. We got to get that king up. Was this the king f2? I think this was the king f2 moment. Yeah. Yeah, it's got to be something like king f2, or just getting the rook out of the way, for instance. Otherwise, series of exchanges do not favor anyone. White's up a pawn, but it's remarkably more even than it should be, in my opinion. Okay, what on earth? Okay, let me... Good God. Let me start another analysis. We have our... We have our second round. Isn't that lovely? Allow me to catch up. Sorry. These guys are blitzing. I know who their favorite reindeer is. Haha. Okay. George with the black pieces, Andrew with the white. Let's start from the beginning here. E4. French defense. Ooh, ah. Oh my goodness. We got C4. Don't see that very often. I don't, at least. I know other people do, but... Okay. Take... I'm sure this is prep. These guys probably know this like the back of their hand. Yeah, that's pretty devastating. Okay. I, for one, I don't even play e4, so not my strength here, French defense, from either side. This is the present moment. Both players have blitzed out basically every single move. And what do we see? Well, oh, this is the famous Orthoschnap gambit. Okay, fascinating. I have no knowledge of this whatsoever, so this is my first, other than a couple St. Louis Chess Club videos, this is my first foray. Very interesting. So white has given up 2 pawns for, I suppose, some development, but we'll see if that bites him in the rear end in the endgame. Okay, we said George has black. Andrew with white. Goodness me. Excuse me. Well, d2 check looks forced. Get that king in the right smack dab in the center of the board. By the way, pardon me. This might be loud. Sorry. It's very important though. Be right back. Oh, we got it. d2 check. Totally savage, man. What do you think in the chat? This is some wild stuff. Rather wild indeed. Does anyone out there play the Orthoschnap gambit? I certainly don't. Okay. What to do here? Well, this is upsetting. It's just upsetting. Dislodging the king from his castling rights. Not the end of the world, but you know, not the best. King f1 is an option, but that does not feel good. No chess player wants that there. Which is why we have the long think. Now, personally, I would probably take it just to get rid of the dang thing. And after a check, you know, maybe we can manually castle queenside or something. Like this, and just hide away. This seems fine, but black's just up a pawn. Still perfectly playable. I know what'll help me think. Another slice of pie. Well, another bite of pie. Very good. I wonder if this is theory. This is still theory. That's ridiculous. And white wins both those games. Wonder who plays it. People I've never heard of that are vaguely Eastern European sounding, so they must be good. Now what do you do as black here? What do you do? Well, probably develop something. Knight c6, for instance. Maybe bring your bishop out. Who knows? I mean, So far, White's position is wild, but it's not losing by any means. I mean, this king in the center is going to be tough. If the king stays in the center, it's going to be an issue. Once this pawn disappears, this rook comes to life. My goodness. If you count the moves it takes for black to castle, it's sort of disheartening because it sort of looks like we've made white uncomfortable, but at what cost? Development. King on f1's better than the king on e8, that's for sure. Oh, here we go. Here's the whipped cream. You see, Jason, that's what you do with pie. You eat it. You don't throw it in people's faces and waste it. You eat it. Still good stuff. Yeah, black's taking his time here, and I understand. The pawn is gone. Leave the pawn. Just got to develop, dude. Got to do it. No options. By the way, let's see here. Henson won the first first match. Okay, I gotta change that. Let's see here. Do 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 do. Ba da ba da ba 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 da. Unfortunately, the guys in the editing department are on strike, so you've got me, and that's okay. There we go. I do my best. King f1, really throwing off Mr. Ramirez here. Again, moves like knight c6, knight bd7, fairly natural. We got to get our pieces out. We got to get developed. I would say knight c6 is more natural. This looks good, but unfortunately b7 hangs. So black really has a lot to think about. This battery, very annoying. Tying the queen to this this square here. Something like this doesn't work. We just take, and now it's arguably even after this. Well, not even. Not arguably. Excuse me. Pawn-wise, I mean, you know, we ruined the structure, but let's take the rook. How about it? You know, that's not even. That's winning. So that can't be done. So that rules out that move. So no bishop moves because it hangs b7. No queen moves because it undefends this, unless we go here. But what's the point? I mean, there's an interesting line here. That's nasty. Okay, we're back. So, what did they end up going with? Ooh, okay. C6, bishop takes. So that's interesting. That's very interesting. Each move, remarkably important. Perhaps black's building up to this to not have to worry about, this anymore. Perhaps the only reason was to defend b7, but we got to get those pieces in the game, man. We got to develop. There's no other option. Now this is a threat. Oh, get me out of here. I mean, there's some counterplay though, but it's very tough. That'd be a bad mistake. Let's go back. Queen c2. Material's even. That's disgusting. Absolutely disgusting. So just to go over that line again. If b5, rook e1, pinning the queen. Sort of an in-between move here. Threatening the queen. Ours comes with check though. We take. We don't take because of this. We back up. And material's dead even. Disgusting. I gotta look into this gambit more. Maybe I'll play it in bullet or something. Requires an opponent that plays the French though, so. So I'm thinking he probably knows this is coming. He's got to. He's got to know. I'm thinking this wasn't for b5. I'm thinking this was just to defend. And maybe he'll hide away on c7 or d7. Rook e1 check is still pretty killer though. After bishop e7, we cut off the defense of that pawn. So how do you deal with that? Very tricky. Queen c7 is the same thing. Can't use the bishop either. We've got too much pressure, yeah? So after this, it's coming. What do you do? Very tough. Nearly 10 minutes on this move. The opening blitzed out. Now, we got issues, man. And I feel for him because if I saw this for the first time, of course I don't play the French, but if I saw it the first time, I would not know what on earth to do. I'm going to call it the peppermint schnapps gambit, though, since it's Christmas time. Let me see how the room is doing from Jason. Let's see. I need a live feed. That would be the absolute next step, a live feed. Total overkill. Total overkill. Perfect. Jason Howell, you pie murderer. Oh my. I've just been informed. The players and spectators are engaging in the ancient tradition of drinking alcohol. This is absolutely clarified why the Orthoschnapp gambit is on the board. Apparently Andrew plays this all the time. I'm just kidding, but they're having a good time. That's good. Very good. Of course, I wouldn't know. I don't drink anymore, so hopefully they're having a good time. Really tough development scheme for black. I'm still waiting, so gonna eat more pie. Better believe it. Heck yeah. Gimme. Mm-hmm. At some point, one of these gentlemen is going to make a move. I think it's going to be black since he's down 10 minutes, 11 minutes, and we're waiting on him. That's my expert prediction. Oh, man. Some colorful language from Jason Howell about the Orthoschnapp gambit. All gone. Let's go over the options again, why don't we? B5. There's this Morphe-esque sacrifice that unfortunately doesn't end in an opera mate. I mean, it might, you never know, but quite a bit to calculate here. B5 just, on a psychological level, feels like you're shooting yourself in the foot. So what else is there? Well, let's think. How do you determine a move? So, in a position where your head is not on the chopping block like this, you develop, you improve your pieces, etc. You notice a threat, you stop the threat. Well, in this case, white has a big threat. So black has to think, all right, do I make a threat of my own that's worse? Well, what's worse than this threat? Can I make a worse threat? No. I can't make a worse threat. So that's out the window. Can I fix the conditions of the threat? Can I break this alignment? I mean, maybe, but this looks terrible. This looks terrible. It feels bad, you know? How do you go forward here? Psychologically, it's very difficult because you know this is coming. How do you stop it? Do you do this? No, you don't. I mean, first of all, this isn't guaranteed. I'm not sure why I did that automatically. We could just go rook e1 here, and now threats upon threats upon threats. But in terms of surviving, block that e-file, take what comes, right? And by all means, get that king castled, please. Please get the king castled. So I understand why it's taking so long. And from my position here, it's very simple to suggest a move. But in these positions, you have to break it down to its simplest form and try your very best to understand your priorities. The priority here is not a counterattack. I'll tell you that much. It's not a counterattack. Logically speaking, the priority is breaking this alignment, blocking up the e-file, getting out of dodge. So I think that's what he's taking all this time thinking about. Now, this line does work. We talked about it, but it's not fun. We see rook e1 anyways. And threatening the queen. Takes. Queen c2. Material's even, but psychologically, when you lose your queen, doesn't feel good. And again, don't take the pawn, because now you're losing by a lot. Too much. So we'll just take this, we'll take a breather here, you know? I'm gonna go put this dish in the sink. I'll be right back. Take your time. I'm gonna go get a cat. I'll be right back. Where's the cat? Do. She's purring. Yes, dear. Okay, we have the best line. Hopefully, he doesn't have me on earpods. Not the best line, but what I would consider to be the most natural line. By far. I think we're going to see rook e1. Yeah. Good. Still, tons of pressure. King d7, followed by bishop e7. Queen d7. Don't know if I said king or what, but I meant queen. Now, George is down on time, but positionally speaking, he's better than he was. Marginally. Let's get out of that pin. And let's castle that king. Queen d7, logical move. King d8 also works though. Accomplishes the exact same thing. Not a bad move. And all of a sudden, there is life. There's a heartbeat in the position after 20 minutes of waiting. I try to be as compelling with my commentary as possible, but you know, sometimes there's just 20 minutes of waiting. So, not much to do. Let's see here. Tell you what. Let me get some more viewers here. Let me try at least. Bishop takes. Wow. Sorry. Bishop takes. Tough. Pawn takes. It's more even than it was. It was looking dark there. Very dark. It's good to see such unorthodox ways of playing here. It's exciting. It's nice for a change. God, you know how upset I'd be if we had 48 moves of Ruy Lopez theory? Ugh, get me out of here, right? So what do you do here? You're attacked. Material's now even. You could trade queens. Queen b4. You could hide on c7. You could hide on d7. This would be an unfortunate mistake, I would say. Losing the queen by the deflection tactic there. So, where do you go? I think here. Backed up by the bishop. Get those queens off the board. Get some of the pressure off, right? Nearly half the time of white. That is rough. George struggling with the peppermint schnapps gambit here, as I would personally. It's not an easy move to find in the heat of the moment, especially. We also have to remember white's rook, well, white's other rook's not in the game. It's going to take some time to get it in the game. Moves like g3, king g2, knight f3. We're gonna fiend cut our king. Goodness me. He finds it. What a guy. What a guy. He can decline the trade with queen c2 if he wants to play for more of a win. Or he can be safe, go for the draw. However, I wouldn't do that. I think if we see a queen trade, we're going to see a very drawish game. I think he should preserve his queen. c2 is the most logical place. Defends the pawns. Everywhere else, I mean, you know, queen d1, got some issues. Looks like we're forking this, winning it, but we just go back. Can this be taken? Can this be taken? No, can't be taken. That's brutal. Oofed. Oofta. I love chess, man. That's great. Oh, that's just mean. So again, if this tactics aplenty, boing, we're gonna take that guy, huh? Whew. Brutal. Brutal. However, If this trade happens, we have a remarkably remarkably even game. All of a sudden, you know, very dryish. So I'm hoping, personally, for some fireworks. Queen c2, queen d1, etc. Wow, he sees it. Hopefully there's no snap captures here, because that'll be tough, to say the least. All right, hopefully Andrew sees that this is not a fork. Good. Oh, there's my cats running around. The game continues, and we have the more testing variation where the queens stay on the board. I love it. White's king looking a whole lot safer, I'll put it that way. Discoveries aplenty. What will we discover? A whole new world. Nobody's chatted recently, and it looks like we're down, way down. I would really love if the rest of Waco would tune in, since there's, you know, I don't know, 80 players that frequent the club. I would love to see maybe even just a quarter of that. That'd be pretty sweet. But here we are. Oh. Okay. Makes sense to me. Knight d7, and life continues. Let's go put some annotations in here. I wonder where this turned. Probably there. Probably there, yeah. Okay. Every move by White's been fairly standard. Don't trade queens, good. B3, kicking the queen, I don't know. Knight f3, that makes sense. White developing. Material's even now. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Oops, just smacked my microphone. Sorry for the 2.5 people watching. Oh, King c7. Very interesting. Check. Oops. Uh-oh. I believe we have our blunder. Our game ending. Potentially. Dun dun dun. Clickbait title. Our game poisoning blunder. That's a tragedy. Hard to see, I suppose. Seemed like a snap move, though. Perhaps he thought he had something. But that's too bad. It's so much time, too. If we look... Wish I could see timestamps, but I can't. Okay, launching the knight forward. Hoping for something, I suppose. However, it's going to be kind of rough. White's lost the advantage. Well, not the advantage. White has lost equality. Oh. Black is faced with many options here. We got to step out of this, though, in my humble opinion. Many options, but they all involve not getting forked. Be right back. Oof. Not getting forked is a good thing, generally speaking. So what are those moves? Well, king up, either of those places, or queen elsewhere. Somewhere else, please. H4, perhaps. This is not fun, and it's just going to get batted away, probably to G6. We might even see this anyways, pick up the bishop, but you never know. Okay, we have king back. Logical, but unfortunately blocks the rook in. But I get it. I get it. So how does white make progress here? I suppose you could kick the queen away with g3. Make some room for your own king, get that other rook involved. It's really a matter of who can be more active at this point. Do you play knight e6 anyways, even though there's no check? I mean, it's an idea. It'd be nice if you could set something up like this, but f6 knight prevents that. Very tough. I think we got to do g3. I think we got to do it. Everything else just sort of falls flat. I mean, you could bring your knight back here, but to what end? Looks pretty, but g3, knight e6, I think are logical moves. What we don't want to do is sacrifice anything. We've sacrificed enough. Okay, g3. Queen's got to move. Where will the queen go? Oh, Daniel, what's going on, man? Yeah, tough bishop move. Tough. Remarkably tough. Be right back. Okay, I'm back. What have we here? Yeah, pretty rough deal for the bishop. However, these things happen. And by these things happen, I mean, well, these things happen. So we're 2 from here. King g2, forced, in my opinion. As we've been saying. We got to get that rook in the game. But is there anything else? No. There isn't. That's it. That's just it. We could attack the queen, but la-di-da, you know, we're just going to move back, and then we're going to play queen g2. I hope I didn't just say queen g7 a bunch of times. I meant queen g2. Oh, hey, what do you know? We got rook e6. Okay, pressuring the queen. Queen moves. Yep. Could have told you that. Now we had tricky wicky tactics from the pawn before, but do we have it now? I wonder. Yes, I wonder. Is it a blunder? We got ideas like this. Interesting. I wouldn't do it personally, but let's see. After king g2, which again I think is forced. Pretty logical. Knight c2, saving himself. Queen takes b2 is always on the table here, I think. But is there something stronger? We could go a lot of ways, folks. But most of them have to do with these somewhat funky knights. Excuse me. Hold on. So lots of ideas here for black. Placing pressure on this knight in the center. I think developing the bishop's just natural. It's been sitting there the whole game. Let's get it out of there, right? I think that's only natural. You can get away with taking on b2 if you want a slower, meandering game. I personally don't think let's see. Sorry. Now white is up a considerable amount of time here. So it makes sense that he's taking his time. In fact, it's very good that he's taking his time. I do think that rook is a little awkward on e6, though. I think a knight would have been a better choice. That's just me, though. That's just me. There's a lot to consider, but King G2 is something we've wanted to do for a long time. And I think we got to get it done. We got to get that king to safety, get that extra rook in the game. Because for the moment, we'll be a little more developed than black, just for a moment. Don't know if it's going to be very decisive, but we'll see. Both these players have played excellent tactical chess thus far. We had some strategic issues in the first game with some of the pieces being shut out and not accepting draw offers, but those things will happen. Those things will happen. All right, Andrew, King G2. Let's see it. I will manifest the move. King G2. Let's go. Anytime. Excuse me. There's no conceivable threat to the king on G2 at the moment. Not that I can see. I don't know what Andrew is seeing. Perhaps ghosts. I think maybe he's wondering if after the B pawn falls, if the whole position falls apart. Perhaps he's considering queen c2. I could understand that. Well, no, I can't. Queen d2, rather. The problem is after something like queen d2, I still think this is pretty much intuitive. And what do? Knight back? Everything's sort of held together for now, but it's very shaky. Like, look at this. That's mean. You gotta defend like that. Very difficult to hold together. So you know, thinking about this for a long time, it makes sense. Maybe I'm being a little too hasty to judgments here, but maybe king g2 is not 100% forced. Perhaps I was wrong. Certainly is a safe move. What else? What, this? And we get that here. We're sort of back to the position we were kind of at before. I'm just going to refresh this, make sure I'm not absolutely crazy. Okay, I'm not crazy. Good. Oh. So if we go back, for some reason I thought the knight was on b3. I guess not. You know, getting this kind of a position wouldn't be the worst, but we still need that rook in the game. The bishop will come out somewhere active, probably not there anymore. Maybe there. This wouldn't make much sense either, but you know, giving up the bishop. I'm really interested to see when the pieces start flying. I really want to see what he's up to, because there's a lot to think about. Tremendous amount to think about. Personally, I could see a position like this. Maybe not taking that. It's a little uncomfortable. Let's go back. Maybe here, connecting the rooks. And finally doubling. This would be like my ideal position here. And if we liquidated, this endgame would favor black for sure, because of the extra piece and all. That'll do it. So again, candidate moves. King g2 feels natural. Queen d2. Knight b3. Rook back, I mean, simple. Now, if this, you can, well, can you do this? Does that change anything? You just take b2 now, and this is hanging. Tough, man. A lot of things to think about here. A lot of things to think about. Excuse me, I've been under the weather. Time ticking away. 12 minutes for black, 22 for white. I wonder. Okay, Queen D2. Daryl, there he is. Hello. Lots of crazy calculations to be had in this position. But I think the lines suggested were all fairly logical. I think this is logical for white, but unfortunately, once the bishop comes out, bishop c5 seems forced to me, double attacking that knight, forcing the knight back somewhere, God knows where. Let's take a look. Now I think the earlier line falls into place, except our queen's on d2. Knight b3, hitting the bishop again. We give a check. Obviously, fairly compelling. We got to go back. Maybe not. Maybe that's too much pressure. Maybe the queen blocks. We have some sort of exchange here. I suppose you keep the file, but black is still up a whole piece. Hey, kitty cat. Oh, stop. What's going on, baby doll? Whew, you smell like a litter box. Get away from here. Time to clean the litter box. So who knows what we're going to see here. Queen c4 check. Okay. Understood. Sorry, I'm mistaken here. We didn't see the bishop. We saw queen c4 check, followed by rook e2. Now I think we're going to transpose. Anyways, bishop c5. Okay, not far off, b4. I understand. I understand completely. That makes sense. Pin the knight. I get it. Nothing is stopping king g2 now. It's got to happen. It's got to happen. Good. Good man. Good on you. 10 minutes for black. I mean, black's up a piece, but how can you convert 3 points of material to minutes? I'm not up on my conversion rates here. So, we'll see. Bishop takes. Wow. Fascinating. I thought that bishop was kind of a plus for him. Now we've got these isolated pawns. Are we going to see further checks? Queen d5 check, forcing the king off of his lovely square, or forcing f3. The world may never know until we find out. Don't believe a move like king c7 works anymore because of that knight check. It's more annoying than anything else, but I think we just go back now. Sure, we could take this pawn, but do we really want do we really want that? But I really want to connect my pieces. I'd love to get away with this, but it's just too weakening. This has been a game of development. We see the check, queen d5. Who could develop their pieces first? That ended up being white, however, comma. The poor bishop met a grisly end on f4. Like me when I'm playing against the England Gambit in the middle of the night in a bullet match. Bishop dies a grisly death. What are his options? Well, king g1. We don't want to do this. That's not good. Can't have it. King g1 is an idea. King h3. Not recommended. We've got some issues, I think. Whole rook and all. However, f3 is an option. As uncomfortable as it is to play, we should probably play it, and he finds it. Good man. Okay, offering a trade of rooks. I think this is sound to trade when you're up, but perhaps there's something more. I think it was maybe a bit too hasty. Something like c5, pretty compelling, utilizing the pin. But I understand. Low on time. This is fine. 9 minutes to 19. Tick tock. The cat is playing in the ramen bed. I repeat, the cat is playing in the ramen bed. Call the news crew. So what do you do here as white? Well, I think you take. And after knight takes, you bring your other rook to e1. I think that's what you got to do. I think it makes the most sense. But if you double, I mean, this is fine. Just fine. Perfectly reasonable. Perfectly reasonable solution as well. But after this, I like this position a little better. Maybe bring a knight to c7, but that's not very easy to see. We'd love to do this, but we open ourselves up to checks of all kinds. So, where to? Just go back. Control the square. I mean, that makes plenty of sense to me. Oh, and we have the doubling line here. Okay. Here, take. What will black do? Down below 9 minutes, half the time. We're basically playing a blitz game now. The attitude changes. I wonder if he's considering b6. And this. We'll see. Okay, knight forward. Wasn't thinking about that. But it makes sense. Gum up the works. No file for you. Perhaps just doubling here makes some sense. Don't rightly know. Maybe trying to infiltrate with the queen here, but we don't really have a lot of room to maneuver. I'd probably play that if I was low on time. Just go for checks. Say this. What do you do here? You block it all up, right? Offer the trade. You couldn't possibly trade. This doesn't work. This doesn't work anymore. Very tough. Oh, wow. Did we get that? Almost. Here and there. Sweet. Okay. Well, we're on the same page at least. Queen's got to go back. Somewhere. These knights are monsters, man. Just controlling everything. That's brutal. Oh, hey, cat. Stinky kitty. Still love you. Oh yeah, put your claws on my tempered glass computer case. Awesome. Love you. Hey. It's a good girl. All right, and we have this b6 idea, trying to get that king tucked away, get that rook in the game. Finally, finally, finally. Makes sense to me. Hey, sweetheart. Relax, relax. Oh, nope. Crackhead mode. Okay. See you later. I did my best. Rook d2. Utilizing the pin. I love it. Active play. Where to? Well, king b7, as previously discussed. I know this is a pin, but there's no tactics right now. At least I think. Okay, instead of king b7, though, we have queen trade offered. Let's see if it gets accepted or declined. It's going to be tough if these pieces get traded off. I mean, it's not going to go well for white if these queens get off the board. But what choice is there? I mean, we could keep shuffling, but I don't know. These knights working overtime, man. My goodness gracious. Just look at the scope of these things. Like, get out of here. So much space. Yeah, trade declined. I fully agree with that decision. Okay, king b7. Black starting to play a little quicker, realizing that clock is ticking down. We're on, what, 5-second delay? That's very tough in the endgame. Very tough indeed. 7 minutes to 15. White to move. how do you create threats here? I mean, queen c4, obviously, but then, you know, the trade will be offered again. So what do? You got to do something. You got to improve your position somehow. What, f4? That seems ugly. You block with anything, you trade the queens. So then you got to run away, but now this is not good. What else can you do here? My goodness. See, any pawn move is weakening here, obviously. Queen c4 sets up a simple threat that can be parried immediately. What do you attack the queen? Hope for repetition? I don't know, man. We have queen c4. I think we're going to have queen d5 offering the trade. That's my prediction. Black, low on time, should go for simple moves like that. I think he'll do better with simple moves like that, low on time. I hope he's not calculating something like this, because I don't think that'll turn out very well. Can't give white that initiative. Simple defensive move. Trade the queens. Win the game with your extra piece. Very good. He's got it. He's got it. I can only imagine we're going to see queen back to d3 or some variation of that. Queen b3 again is a trade. Connects the pawns again, but we don't want to trade, do we? Queen e2. Okay, it's kind of inviting this. So where to, man? I mean, 95's coming. Very tough. Hey, sweet kitty. Come here, you. Moo. Moo. Yeah, you would say something like that. Look at the tummy. Hey. Look. Cute. Run along now. Go play, you scamp. 6 minutes to 12 minutes. Oh, the cat's on top of the tower. If this shuts off abruptly, it's because the cat turned off the computer. Where are you? It's my cat bazooka. Well, I think it's facing the wrong direction, but do 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 do. So again, options: retreat, trade. I mean, anywhere you retreat, we're going to have some forcing moves. This book writes itself. Excuse me. Where to? Okay, I wasn't expecting that. C5 just went. Let's see if he finds it. Where are you? Yep, he's got it. Basically immediately. Yeah, that wasn't on my radar because of the, well, the fork. If there's no flat-out resignation, this is going to be a grind. We'll see. There's too much material to be down, in my opinion, to mount a comeback, barring any acts of God. Yeah, activate the rook, absolutely. I mean, he takes. This is just winning. Even if the rook takes back, I mean, well, the rook's not going to take back. Pardon. Queens are staring at each other, right? Due to this opening up. So, trade is once again offered. Come here, you. Sorry, I'm a little distracted. The trade is once again offered, and I think, okay, we trade. Fine. Black is just up too much. I don't see this ending well. Again, barring any acts of God, 2 extra knights, too much. Goodness me. Sorry, I got to pull this up on a different source because my computer is not easy to view. I have about 100 tabs open. Okay. Active rook. I think that just about does it, personally. Man. Very tough state of affairs, in my opinion. And all from the Orthoschnapp Gambit. My goodness gracious. Whoa, guys. What did I miss? Okay, down. Here, yeah. Oh my goodness. Okay. I'm behind. I apologize. Let's just watch the live board, huh? That's it's got to be it, right? It's got to be. My goodness. Two connected pass pawns. What's the deal here? Goodness me. Let's see if I can catch up. No promises though. Oh, that's what I missed. Here, there, there. Okay. Yep. Just give up. Well, don't have to give anything up. This is just winning. I gives up the knight anyways. Okay, give up the rook too, man. Yeah, it's getting dark. These are really blitzing here on this board. Okay. I mean, the A1 queen defends the queenie square. It's I don't even have to do anything else. Just it defends it. I don't know what to say. We're being extra safe though, moving the rook over. Game's over. Now you sack the rook, and we all Go home. Or not. Or you draw it out. Boys, come on. Gentlemen, please. I've got a letterbox to clean. He promotes to a knight? Look at this dude. Oh, jeez. Someone's having fun. You better not get the 2 knights, man, because I'm going to lose it. Oh, my God. I have no words. Oh. This is some stuff my students do in class, and I say, quit it. Checkmate your opponent. Stop playing with your food. Okay. So, there should be a resignation in a minute here. Unless we're going to see, you know, a bishop knight checkmate demonstration. Yeah, I agree, Daryl. I think they're just having a good time, but it's just resign the game, dude. I mean, the promotion to the knight and then the bishop. He's playing with his food. Eat the food. Eat the food, Tina. I don't know, man. I'm just going to stop streaming in a minute because this game's over. And I got work tomorrow. So, good game. Andrew. Your Orthoschnapp was very good, but the bishop cries from beyond the grave. Oh my God, cat. I surrender. Okay, if I refresh this, it should say that black has won, but it doesn't. Why does it? Okay. Kitty cat, we gotta chill, dude. Dude, relax. Hey, get off of there. Whew, I gotta change that litter box. Go. The look of betrayal. Oh my God. Come here, you. Literally looks like one of those cat posters. Hang in there, baby. Right? Little demon child. Okay. All right, I'm exhausted and this game's over. Good night.